And now I just gotta get the link to this joint. Figure out how to do that. But they give you a link whenever you start a class. They give you a link that you can, you know, send to people so they can join in. Let me see. Pause. End of meeting. Invite. I guess this might be it. I don't know. Default. Okay, copy URL. There it is. Okay, hopefully that copied. I don't know. And post this on Facebook. Mashallah, the connection seems pretty good too as well. So hopefully they'll be able to benefit, inshallah.
Oh.
There it is.
I just stopped with a certain day. I lived all day today, all day. I love what it is. I didn't take my medicine for 2 days. Because when I'm off, I don't take it. But then I think I should. But today I went all day. All day.
When I go from school, I can feel this needs really than this one. I feel it. I'm like, oh, look on that. This doesn't feel funny. It's the biggest. This one is bigger than that.
Yeah.
And then when I say the jumps, it starts feeling.
Things like when you start to come in some more, like, you know, good. I fix them up easily. You got the mom with
You know, take this over, right?
yeah, man.
Okay. All right. Bismillah walhamdulillah. والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه ومن اتبع هداه إلى يوم الدين أما بعد. Okay, so we've reached the part of the poem wa alaykum salam wa rahmatullah, dealing with one of the shurut, one of the conditions of the salat, which is the ghusl, not the ghusl, but the wudu. We've covered some of the obligations of the wudu in the statement of the Shaykh, in which he says, وَفَرْضُهُ أَن تَغْسِلَ الْوَجْهَ كَذَا يَدَاكَ حَدَ الْمِرْفَقَيْنِ آخِذًا. Okay, so in this line, huh? Oh, you brought it in? Okay. All right. So in this line, وَفَرْضُهُ أَن تَغْتَسِلَ I'm not أن تغسل. وَفَرْضُهُ أَن تَغْسِلَ الْوَجْهَ كَذَا يَدَاكَ حَدَّ الْمِرْفَقَيْنِ آخِذًا. So in this line and the line that's coming after it, the Sheikh is going to mention what is the obligatory acts of wudu. So here he mentions two things. The first is washing the face, and when he says "an taghsil al-wajha kada," that's washing the face, and then yadaka hadd al-mirfaqayn akhida, and the second being washing the hands, including the elbows. So we have mentioned that in this part here, and in the next line, the Sheikh, he's going to mention the other two obligatory acts of wudu. So he says, وَمَسْحُ رُبُعِ الرَّأْسِ فَرْضُ عَيْنِ كَغَسْلِ رِجْلَيْكَ مَعَ الْكَعْبَيْنِ. Okay, so the Sheikh says, وَمَسْحُ رُبُعِ, right? Mes is a noun, and the wa is the preposition. Together, we get and wiping. Okay, so mes is wiping. rubu'u. You could say rubu' with a sukoon on the ba, or you could say with the tadmeen al ba. You could say rubu', or you could say rubu'. And that means a fourth. So a fourth of something is rubu'. A third of something is thuluth. A fifth of something is khums or humus. And that's the reason why they call one of the names that they give for a small portion of an army is khamis, which will be like, let me see, what would be the best way to translate that? Yeah, like a regiment or something like that, yeah. All right, so all of those words come from numbers. The next we have is araks. Araks. And the word araks means head. So noun means head. So the Sheikh is talking about the third obligatory act of wudu, which is mes rub'i araks. Wiping a fourth of the head. Right? And he says, fardu aini. Fard meaning obligation. Right? Because all of these things are obligatory acts. So he's mentioning that it's an obligation. Aini meaning specific. But what's another meaning for the word ain? No, that's another meaning linguistically. The word ain. Okay, all right. Well, I think Khalid mentioned it last time, but the ayn can also mean eyes, or eye in this case. It's only one eye. Okay, and that's the reason why what you're looking at is becomes specific, so you can see the connection. When you're looking at something, it's not like not looking at it, right? So when you look at something, you're specifying the thing that you're looking at, right? You're what are you saying? Zeroing in on it or focusing on it. So that's why the word specific comes from that word ayn. So it says fardu ayni. Okay, and then the Sheikh, he says, كَغَسْلِ رِجْلَيْكَ مَعَ الْكَعْبَيْنِ. كَغَسْلِ. Okay, so it says also, ka here, it means similar, but it's not given an example here. It means to say it's also. Okay, so we covered the third one, which is mes rubu'i araks. Wiping a fourth of the head. The next obligation is ghasli rijlayka. Al-ghasl meaning to wash. So ghasli meaning such as washing rijlayka. We have two words here in the word rijlayka. We have the word rijl, and the ya that comes after it means dual. It's for duality. Right, so that noun is talking about two things, or so you could say it's a plural and dual plural. Pair, right? So it's talking about two things. Two what? Foot. So that's the plural. The pair for foot is rijlak or rijlake or something like that. The kaf there meaning your. So that's possessive adjective. I said preposition. That's wrong. Why did I say preposition? That's wrong. It's possessive adjective, so it's your feet. Your feet. I have to fix that. Bi'idhnillahi jalla jalal. Okay. Ma'a is a noun meaning with, and al-ka'bayni is also a noun, and it's dual as well, so it's for a pair, and it's talking about the ankles. Now the ankles, they come in pair. You have them on both sides of each foot. But this is talking about the pair in one and the pair in the other. So ankles. Now, and that's pretty much it. So with that, so what have we covered so far? From those two lines that are mentioned, the Sheikh is trying to tell us that the obligatory acts of wudu are 4 things. Washing the face, washing the hands to the elbows, meaning including the elbows, wiping 1/4 of the head, and washing the feet and the ankles. Now, this kind of sounds very strange. Now, where do you think he got the proof from that? Is there anything to substantiate this being obligatory acts of wudu? It's in the Quran. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا قمتم إلى الصلاة فاغسلوا وجوهكم وأيديكم إلى المرافق وامسحوا بوجوهكم إلى الكعبين. Okay, so those are all of the things that are mentioned in the ayah. So they stick to just that. They said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if there was anything else additional, he would have mentioned in this ayah. Right? So they said that these are the obligatory acts. Anything else other than that is from the sunnah. Or it's from the mustahabbat, which they differ between the sunnah and mustahabbat sometimes. Okay. So that's the proof. Now we're going to talk about a little bit about the rubber, the 4th of the head. There is no hadith that says the Prophet ﷺ only wiped 1/4 of his head. Okay, so that number, that specific amount is what they derive from the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. Because there is a hadith in the hadith of Bara ibn Azib, in which he said that the Prophet ﷺ, when he went out to the desert, he wiped over his khuf. Right, it's a hadith about wiping over the Prophet ﷺ when he wiped over his khuf. And it says, "Inni adkhaltuhuma tahiratani." When the person asked him, "Why didn't you take off your khuf?" Prophet ﷺ explained to his companion that I wore them when I was in a state of purity. In that same narration, outside of Kutub al-Sitta, it said that not only did he wipe over his khuf, he also he wiped over his nasiyah. The nasiyah is the I guess you could say the peak. The hair peak, where that shows out like you normally wear an imama. There's a little bit of hair that shows out here. So yeah, that. So he wiped over that, right? And Imam Abu Hanifa, he took that, as meaning that that's about 1/4 of the head. So he said that you can't, using that hadith, you can't go any less than 1/4 of the head of the Prophet ﷺ when he was making wudu. In that hadith, wipe that part, which is about 1/4. Imam Shafi'i, he doesn't restrict. He doesn't specify how much of the head that can be wiped. He does say that you don't have to wipe all of it. Okay, so Imam Shafi'i and Imam Abu Hanifa are in agreement that you don't have to wipe all of it to meet the obligations of wudu. And that's also the opinion of Sheikh Uthaymeen as well. I'm not sure about Sheikh Ubayd. I can't remember. I don't think Sheikh Ubayd takes this position. But I know that Sheikh Uthaymeen, he agrees that you don't have to wipe the whole head because of the same thing. The ayah. First ayah says, "Wamsahu bi ru'usikum." He says, "Wipe bi ru'usikum." Wipe. It didn't say wipe your head. It says wipe a part. That B right here that says is tab'id, meaning it's for partial. It shows partial, meaning wipe some of your head. That's the correct interpretation of that ayah. So the scholars, meaning Imam Abu Hanifa, Imam Shafi'i, they look at that and say, okay, that shows that it's not obligatory to wipe all of the head. Imam Abu Hanifa uses the hadith to specify how much or how few of the head can you wipe. While Imam Shafi'i says, no, we'll just stick with the generality of the Quran, and they say some. So whatever covers that word some means that you did what is obligatory, and just left it like that. Of course, Imam Malik and Imam Ahmed, they say no. The Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ is a clarification for that which is in the Quran. And other than that, the hadith that Imam Abu Hanifa mentions, which there's an argument whether or not it is authentic or whether it's not understood the right way, or some of them they understand it a different way. Because they said that the reason why the Prophet ﷺ was allowed to wipe over only that part of his head, because he was wearing an imamah. And there's a rukhsa, or there's an allowance when you're wearing an imamah, you don't have to wipe over the head if it's too difficult to take off. So this is where the differences of the scholars come in. So you have Imam Ahmed and Imam Malik on one side, you have Imam Abu Hanifa, Imam Shafi'i on the other. And Allah knows best. This seems to be the closest opinion, except for the rubber part. So basically, I think the opinion of Imam Shafi'i in this issue, along with Shaykh Uthaymeen, that these are the obligations, and from the head, it's just some, without specifying how little it is. Okay, so some of them say even as much as one strand of hair, you wipe that. Okay, so that means he did less than as far as the amount than Imam Abu Hanifa did. So, okay, yeah. So that's it as far as fiqh is concerned. We're done with the 2 lines. The next line is going to be about the sunnah of wudu. That's not done yet. We're going to go to that, inshallah ta'ala, next class. So let me see if I can.
It's funny what you learn when you read one book, right?
Wow.
Try and
one way. Even
how do you do this?
I need to be on mine.
Tafadhal, yeah, go ahead.
I was studying that same issue you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
We were going with hadith and
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right. And
Mm-hmm.
he's talking about that because I didn't know that issue when he mentioned the same thing, so I didn't like that. Hadith, I think it was like the voice hadith. Oh, talking about washing the hands. A lot of the Muslims, they wash their hands first, then their mouth and nose, their face, and then they go from the wrist to the elbow instead of doing the whole thing. So I kind of found out that he only used to wipe his, which is the sunnah act, he used to clean his hands first because he would stick his hand in a vessel for water. So if your hand is dirty, you stick it in it first, contaminate the water. Then you wash it on the side first, get his hands clean, then go in there and then do the mouth. I was like, subhanAllah.
Yeah, that's just what I felt like. Your hands first is dirty.
See, here we got sink, so we don't want to contaminate the water.
Right.
But with him, he's washing the side sink with the feet at the end. Washing your feet with the side. Not sticking your feet in the vessel. A lot of teachers you had, man, he read one book, they give you one thing, they force it on you, if you don't do it right, you're like, that's your shit.
Yeah, I don't know really what you do, but I'm like the least thing, like, you know, not really, you can leave on the thing.
Yeah.
I know.
How do I do this?
Try. They don't understand the teacher.
Okay. Okay, Bismillah. Okay, so as far as the seerah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is concerned, we've reached to the part where the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam had went to Sham. How old was he when he did? How old was he when he went this time? When he went twice to Sham, right? How old was he this time when he went? The first time. Second time? 25. That's right. There it is right there. Yeah, 25. Okay. And we also learned who he went for. He was working for somebody, right? Who? That's right, Khadija. Yeah. لأمنا خديجة متجرة وعاد فيه رابحا مستبشرا. Okay, so that's where we left off at. So the Prophet ﷺ, he went to Sham on behalf of Ummina Aisha radiyallahu anha as a merchant, and he came back with a lot of money from profit. Okay, so here's where we are right now then. So it says, فَكَانَ فِيهِ عَقْدُهُ عَلَيْهَا وَبَعْدَهُ إِفْضَاؤُهُ إِلَيْهَا. وَكَانَ فِيهِ عَقْدُهُ عَلَيْهَا وَبَعْدَهُ إِفْضَاؤُهُ إِلَيْهَا. Okay, فَكَانَ فِيهِ. فَكَانَ, we have a verb that's in the past tense. Kana is a verb in the past tense. And a preposition, the fact. Okay, usually the fact means so. Whenever you hear it, usually you can translate this as so. But it could also mean to give a reason. Like, the reason for this, if you want to give the reason for something, you can use fact before you give the reason. But usually it is translated as so. Okay, and kana meaning was. Okay, he was, it was, kana. Okay. So here, kana fihi, yeah, meaning at this time, right? Fihi is talking about in it. And it's referring to the year, the same year that he went to Sham. So he was 25 in that year. So that same year, aqduhu. And I translated it here as marriage. The who part of aqduhu is a possessive adjective meaning his. So his marriage, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. But it's almost, it really, if you were to say to tie the knot, it wouldn't be too far from the truth. It's a word that we use in English to say that somebody's getting married. And it's a funny thing that the word in Arabic here, which actually means to make a knot, and it's also used to when somebody does a contract, you call it an aqd. Like the contract for marriage is called aqduz zawaj. Aqduz zawaj. Yeah, so that's the marriage contract. So it really means like, the word comes from, and the word aqidah comes from here too, right? Which, of course, something that you bind yourself to a belief. So it all has to do with time, right? So I translated it here as marriage, right? So aqduhu alayha. Alayha, we have preposition and direct object pronoun, meaning to her. Here it means to her, even though ala meaning on, and ha, of course, referring to her. But on her doesn't make sense, so change it so it makes sense in English. So, the same year, the Prophet ﷺ got married to Aisha when he was 25, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, radiyallahu anha. And of course, this is just an little added information, which of course is obvious, Captain Obvious here. وَبَعْدُهُ إِفْضَاؤُهُ إِلَيْهَا. Of course, after he got married, because وَبَعْدُهُ meaning, and after that, meaning after he married her, إِفْضَاؤُهُ, we say his consummation, إِلَيْهَا, with her. He consummated the marriage. Now, ifda really means to go out in open space. But obviously, that's not what's meant here and stuff. It's a way of addressing the fact that two people went to some place private to handle their business. Okay, so it's called ifda'uhu ilayha. And that's the end of that. That was a short class too as well. So in this line, Basically, we know that the Prophet ﷺ married Aisha after he came back from Sham that same year. And of course, they consummated the marriage too after that that marriage contract was made. Okay, so now what we're going to do here, bi'idhnillahi Jalla Jalaluhu, we're going to get rid of that, and we're going to go to the book. There you go. The book now. Al-Madkhal ila Madhhabi Abi Hanifa. And we're going to skip a lot of the things in the book due to the fact that, you know, it doesn't really help the purpose that we're trying to get from this book, which is just getting familiar with the school of thought of Abu Hanifa and why are things the way they are, so we could know a little bit more about some of the scholars of Islam of the past and how they went about doing what they did and what their proofs is and stuff like that. So the issues dealing with his worship, act of worship, and you know, the things that's outside of that, we're not going to cover that. Alhamdulillah, we know that these people of the past, when they came to ibadah, when it came to trustworthiness, when it came to these type of things, that we know that they're on another level. So just delving in that a little bit like we did yesterday is sufficient. And what we're going to do right now is move on to, and this are parts that we're going to cover as well, but not now. This has to deal with his trials. Now, most people know about Imam Ahmed and the trial that he had to go through during his time. And because of that trial, and because of the severe torture that he faced, that he is called the Imam of Ahl Sunnati wal Jama'ah. But it's also important to know that he is not the only scholar from amongst the scholars that also were afflicted by trials with the people that were in charge of the Muslim in their time. So Imam Abu Hanifa was afflicted twice. We're going to read only one of those incidents, which was during the Khilafah Umayyah, or is it the Abbasi? Which one do we want? Umayyah. So we're gonna. He was alive in both Khalifate. Okay, so we're gonna read the one with that, but not right now. We're gonna skip that for now. We're gonna go back to it later, and we're gonna go to the section dealing with not his death, but yes, this right here. This right here is talking about giving us a small glimpse about the time period in which the Imam lived in and the scholars that were around during that time. So it says, Walada Abu Hanifata, I'm sorry, Wulida, Wulida Abu Hanifata sana 80 في خلافة عبد الملك بن مروان وتوفي سنة 150 من الهجرة في خلافة المنصور كما مر من قبل. So he said, like we had discussed, we know that Abu Hanifa, rahimahullah, he was born in the year 80 after the Hijrah, during the Caliphate of Abdul Malik ibn Marwan, and he died 150 years after the Hijrah, during the Caliphate of Al-Mansur. So then, كان خلافة عبد الملك من سنة 73 من الهجرة إلى سنة 86 من الهجرة. So the time period of the Caliphate of Abdul Malik was from the year 73 to the year 86. So he basically caught like 6 years of his life, growing up. First 6 years of his life was during this caliphate. وقد تولى الخلافة بعد انتهاء الصراع مع ابن زبير رضي الله عنه، وفي عهده استتب الأمر ثانية للأمويين واستقرت الأوضاع إلا من بعد الحركات. So we know that Abdul Malik ibn Marwan, he became the Khalifa after, you know, fighting with the Sahabi for rulership. The Sahabi Abdullah ibn Zubair, and he was the one that was killed by Al-Hajjaj. You know, he even sought refuge in the Kaaba. He was holding on to the Kaaba when the Hajjaj came and cut him down, a companion of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So yeah, it was strange times back then, strange times. So that's how Abdul Malik ibn Marwan, he became the caliphate, and it was in his hands until the Umayyads. Wait, hold on. Yeah, so it was in their hands. It was in the hands from his time in the hands of the Umayyads, because Abdul Malik ibn Marwan was from their caliphate, the Umayyah. Okay, and it stayed with them until a revolution happened, right? And so it says, وَتَوَسَّعَتِ الْفُتُوحَاتِ إِلَى مَطْلَعِ الْقُرْنِ الثَّانِي. And they were also, during this time, the Muslims were still doing jihad. They were still conquering other places and introducing Islam to those places. And this was the second century, right? حَيْثُ بَدَأَتِ الدَّعْوَةِ الْعَبَاسِيَّةِ. And then during this time is when the da'wah of Abbasiyya came about. فَقَدْ تَبَنَّى مُحَمَّدُ بْنُ عَلِيِّ بْنِ عَبْدِ اللَّهِ بْنِ عَبَّاسِ الْعَمَلِ لِتَفْوِيضِ الْحُكْمِ الْأُمَوِيِّ. So Muhammad ibn Ali ibn Abdullah ibn Abbas, he was the one that started the movement of the Abbasiyya, right? That movement that was going to overtake the Umayyad Caliphate. All right. So he started causing chaos in their power, or in their during their time. وَالدَّعْوَةُ إِلَى آلِ الْبَيْتِ مِنْ سَنَةِ 100 وَوَجَّهَ الدَّعْوَةِ إِلَى الْعِرَاقِ وَخَرَسَانِ. Okay, so now because Muhammad ibn Ali ibn Abdullah ibn Abbas was from the lineage of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he called to, or at least he called to the Ahlul Bayt, the family of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and this was around 100 years after the Hijrah, and this gained strength in Iraq and Khurasan, two places. ومات محمد بن علي بن عبد الله ابن عباس سنة 24 و100 وقام بعده بشأن الدعوة ابنه إبراهيم ابن محمد ibn Ali. So when Muhammad ibn Ali ibn Abdullah, he died, which was the year 124 after the Hijrah, his son took charge of the da'wah that he was propagating, which was Ibrahim. وفي عهد الخليفة الأموي الأخير مروان بن محمد اشتدت الدعوة العباسية وصارت جهرية وكثر أتباعها. So during the caliphate of the last Umayyad Caliph, which is Marwan ibn Muhammad, the da'wah of the Abbasiyya became very strong, and they started to proclaim it out in the open, and they had started to have a lot of followers. وكان إبراهيم بن محمد بن علي بن عبد الله بن عباس يعمل من الأردن من الحميمة من جبال الشراء فانكشف أمره. So his da'wah, the da'wah of Ibrahim, was actually in Jordan. Okay, he was given da'wah. That was like his his headquarters. And a mountain called Shira, I don't know if I'm saying that right, Shira or Shara. And while he was there, he became known, right? They uncovered who he was. فاعتقل ومات في السجن أو قتل سنة 300 or واثنتين بعد الهجرة. Okay, so once he became discovered, they said that he was either put in prison. Oh no, they said that he was captured. I'm sorry. They said he was captured and died in prison, or he was killed. One of those two things. They're not sure about what the narrations say, and that happened in the year 132 after the Hijrah. فأخرج نقباء الدعوة العباسية أخاه عبد الله بن محمد عملا بوصيته وهو المعروف بالسفاح. So his brother, who's called his brother Muhammad, who's called a Safah, he took over the da'wah after he had died, and that's because of him, basically telling him that you're gonna be the one responsible for this after I am dead. وَأَخَذَ الْبَيْعَةَ. So the people gave the bay'ah to him, that followed them, because وَفَتَحَتْ لَهُمْ خَرَاسَانَ وَالْعِرَاقِ ثُمَّ بِلَادَ الشَّامِ. And they were able to conquer Khurasan, the area of Khurasan, the area of Iraq, and then Sham. وَفَرَّ مَرْوَانَ إِلَى مِصْرَ فَلَحِقُوهُ وَقُتِلُوهُ سَنَةَ 230 و100. سنة 32 و100. Okay, so when they conquered those places, Marwan, he fled. He left and went to Egypt, where they met up with him and killed him there. Yeah, that was a lot. If you read the history, man, it's a lot of folks dying, a lot of folks running away. I mean, even to the time of Sheikh Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab, after he had, with the help of Muhammad ibn Saud, they conquered, took hold of the Arabian Peninsula. You heard what happened to the Sauds after that. The instability. People tried to overthrow them. The Sheikh's family had to run into hiding in Egypt, and some of them got killed. And this is like common stuff. So anyway, yeah, the Turks were the main opposition, because they were the ones that were running that area at the time. You know what I'm saying? In fact, some people, they say, okay, you Salafis, you guys talk about obeying the people that's in charge, and here you have your imam and stuff like that making khuruj on the Turkish regime and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But of course, this was at a time when the Turkish regime was pretty much more or less was about to fall apart anyway and stuff like that.
Turkish people say that commit genocide.
Oh, really? I didn't know that they say that. Okay. But you see why they have some enmity towards them.
I mean, a few months ago, they don't say nothing about what Muhammad bin Abdul Turkish, about what the Albanians did to him. They said Albanians commit genocide on them too.
Oh, really? When was this, though? Was this before World War I? Or?
Yeah, I think between World War I and World War II.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was some different time back then. Yeah. Okay, so continuing on. وبذلك زالت دولة بني أمية وقامت دولة بني عباس. So with the death of Marwan, the caliphate of the Umayyas were finished, and that began the caliphate of the Abbasiyah. وصار السفاح أبو العباس عبد الله بن محمد الخليفة الأول من سنة 32 و100 من الهجرة إلى سنة 36 و100 من الهجرة، حيث توفي وتولى من بعده أخوه المنصور عبد الله بن محمد أبو جعفر. So after after the Abbas Caliphate started, Safah He became the ruler. Then after him, after he died in the year 136, his brother Al-Mansur, who's known as Abdullah ibn Muhammad, Abu Ja'far, he became the ruler. It says, وَقَدْ ذَكَرْنَا. Now here, we're going to skip this a little bit and then go to this part, which is talking about the knowledge of Imam Abu Hanifa, because the story is going to continue there in more detail.
Get back to it. That was very interesting.
Yeah. That stuff is very interesting, mashallah. And but when we covered his trials, we're going to get into detail about that, because it happened in both caliphates. So yes, it's definitely important.
Do you have a translated English book
of his biography? I'm not 100% sure on that. I do. It's got to be. It's got to be out there, but I'm not sure. I gotta look for that.
I know there is some, but the Sufis.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Yeah. I'm gonna look into that, inshallah. But no doubt that I think for the most part, the ones that are out, they're probably written by people that are staunch Hanafis. So, and a lot of them, might have some mistakes in Aqidah and stuff like that. I don't think you're gonna find one that's like this. That's more the person who's doing this he did this for his doctorate. This is a thesis. So I mean, so he's trying to get that grade. It's not about him, having love for the Imam or his madhab or anything like that. So that's why you see a lot of the stuff he mentions in here are pretty, straightforward, fair and stuff. Okay. So this part that we're going to cover is basically about the status of Kufa when it comes to knowledge. So it says, وذكرنا في مبحث الأول ما يتصل بشأن أبي حنيفة العلمية وملازمته لشيخه حماد ثم تصديه للتدريس بعد وفاة شيخه. I said that we spoke about briefly those issues that are connected to Abu Hanifa in regards to his knowledge and how he had stayed with his Sheikh Hamad before he. What's that? That must tell me that the time is almost up, or maybe time is up. This thing only records for like 40 minutes, and then I get kicked out of the room. Yeah, that's the only thing that's wrong with this thing. So let me see.
That's why you try to do the expedient.
Yeah. I mean, the majority of the class is done, I guess. But I don't know if somebody's trying to. I don't even know how to check the chat. Okay, here's the chat right here. Okay, nobody's in there except for one person. Okay, so that's it. So with that, then so that nobody will miss anything that I said, we're just going to close it out here for them, but we're going to still continue, inshallah. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك واشهد ان لا اله الا انت استغفرك واتوب اليك. السلام عليكم ورحمه الله وبركاته.